Hi guys, it is nearly a month since my CAR T-cell infusion. The videos previous to this video were of the day of my infusion and of me receiving my transfusion, but I never really wanted to film anything else, and I know that I said I was going to, but on day 5 post CAR T-cell infusion, I got really sick, which is a good thing, and I'll get to that in a second. But yes, I got really sick. I had migraines, the worst migraines I have possibly had in forever, and there was nothing that they could do about it. The doctors were not allowed to give me, or like the doctors and the nurses, they were not allowed to give me any painkillers other than Panadol, and I'm not allowed to have Panadol as I'm not allergic to it, but I have cirrhosis of the liver, which means that my liver is like completely gone. I can only have one drink and then it's a mess. But the cirrhosis of the liver, it's literally liver damage, and that is from all the chemotherapy that I have received throughout my treatment, and it is also due to the fact that I have this enzyme, and it comes from my mum, and it doesn't allow my body to process Panadols and certain things properly, which means it affects me in a different way, and it makes me sick. That's why I cannot have Panadol. So while I was having these migraines, I had no painkillers. I had no Panadol. I couldn't take that. And I wasn't allowed anything stronger like endone or morphine, because one of the side effects to CAR T is neurological symptoms, and they thought that if they were to give me endone or morphine, that it would mask the neurological symptoms that I may have gotten. So I just had to push through the pain. Just had to deal with it. Anyway, there was this one specific morning while I was having my migraines, and my doctor came in at about 8 o'clock in the morning, and he woke me up. I had just gotten to sleep, by the way, and I was in tears that he woke me up this early. Well, it's not really early, but it's early when you're not feeling great. And he was like, "Oh, you have migraines?" And I was like, yes, I have migraines. Like, can I go back to sleep now? And he's like, "That is fantastic." And I was like, what? He's like, "That's fantastic." And I was like, "Please explain why that is so fantastic." And he said, "We were hoping that you would get a reaction from the CAR T cells, because a reaction means that the CAR T cells have found disease." And I was like, "Go on, continue. Tell me why I'm getting these migraines. Tell me why I have 2 fevers." And he was like, "Look, we wanted you to receive a reaction, as it means, like I said, the CAR T cells have found disease. That means the CAR T cells have been activated. If they didn't find any disease, and disease I mean the leukemia, then they would have just died off. But now that they have been activated, they now have memory, which means that they will now remain in my body forever." Absolutely shook. I didn't know this prior to all this CAR T nonsense. So now this means that now that I have these CAR T cells in my body, whenever a little bit of leukemia may, arise somewhere, these CAR T cells will just eat it. Well, not eat it, but kill it. So that's fantastic. So like I said, it has been 4 weeks, nearly a month since my CAR T cell infusion. I received the symptoms on day 5, and they lasted about a week. I had 2 fevers, which is great. And then everything seemed to settle down. I got discharged on the beginning of week 3. So I had nearly 3 weeks in the hospital, and look, the hospital was fantastic. They had this awesome little monitor. It was like a TV. And if any of you have been in hospital before, the TVs in the hospitals are shocking, absolutely shocking, and you have to listen to the TV on your nurse caller remote. Like, you can't hear anything, but this was an actual TV and it was mounted on this arm, so I got to pull it in front of me. And they had movies, like movies that have only just come out in the cinema, like crazy. And the nurses and the people were just so lovely and so generous. I got to choose my food. Like, normally in hospital, you just give them what you're given and you just got to go with that. Or you just get your mum and dad or someone to get takeaway and just live on takeaway. But no, we actually got to order our own meals, which was lovely. We got to order breakfast, afternoon tea, morning tea, lunch, dinner, even supper. And supper, I've never had supper before, and I found out it's kind of like a dessert. We even got to get supper, which was nice. I've lost a bit of weight. That's due to the CAR T cells. Not saying that's a bad thing. What else has happened? Oh, my platelets have just dropped dramatically. So at the moment, the last blood test I've had, my platelets were in their 50s. So they're not that great and they're still trending downwards. My immune system has bounced back up, so has my white blood cells. So everything else is pretty normal except for my platelets. There's this one particular little thing that has occurred. There's this thing called immunoglobulin, and it is a booster for your immune system. So now that I have these CAR T cells on board, what they do is that they don't just attack your leukemia, they also attack these cells called B cells. Now, when I was first diagnosed, I was diagnosed with pre-B cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia. So that means the leukemia was on the B cell. It's crazy. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a medical magician, but that's just what I know. So the CAR T cells are also attacking my immune system. So they're attacking my B cells, which means my immune system is depleted. When you compare me to someone who is normal, it's depleted quite a bit. So I have to weekly, for as long as it takes, it may be forever, it may be for 6 months, we don't know. I have to be on immunoglobulin, that's it, infusions. So this is something that I will be practicing with the nurses so I can administer it to myself at home. And I only have to do it weekly, and it's probably over night time, and the infusion only takes half an hour, which I'm not complaining. I could be in there every day. It could be, could be much worse. So that's the one thing that I have to do. Most people who have like immune system disorders usually have to take immunoglobulin. So it's something that's pretty common. Hopefully, so the date today is the 20th. Today's the 20th. Is it the 20th? Yeah, today's the 20th. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I can go home by November. I've already had my 1 month bone marrow biopsy and lumbar puncture, and we find out the results. Today is Sunday. We find out the results on Thursday. I'm not 100% sure when I'm going to get this video up, so we may know the results when it's up. But yeah, those 1 month results will determine whether there is leukemia in my central nervous system or my bone marrow, but fingers crossed it's not. I have to return to Melbourne in the November. So I'll probably be home for only 2 weeks, and then I have to fly back up because I have some more tests due. And then I will come back in the December to have my 3-monthly bone marrow biopsy and lumbar puncture, and that will also determine whether there is any disease. And then 6 months, in another 3 months, I think it is, I have to come back and have my 6-monthly bone marrow biopsy and lumbar puncture. But that's further down the track, and we'll get to that when we get to that. So yeah, that's all I have to catch you up on. Myself and my mum, we have done everything touristy there is to do in Melbourne. My brother and sister and my dad were down. My dad was down for about a month, and my brother and sister came down during the school holidays. So that was for 2 weeks. And we went to Phillip Island, and we got to see the penguins. That was absolutely amazing. We've been to Brighton Baths. We've been to the Brighton Huts. We've been to St Kilda. We've been to South Wharf DFO. Amazing shopping. We have been to Olinda, we've been to Sassafras, we've been to the Dandenong Ranges, everywhere. We've been everywhere. It's just crazy. Oh, Lygon Street, oh my god, the food in Lygon Street, amazing. But yeah, the Leukemia Foundation has been absolutely amazing. The accommodation that they have set us up with is just, we couldn't thank them enough. So, yeah, that's all I have to catch you up on. I'm sorry it has been way too long, but like I said, I haven't had the time. I've been in and out of appointments, and we've been trying to get out as much as possible while I have been so well. So that's probably, they're the reasons why I haven't been able to get around to doing this video, or finishing this video. So I hope you're all well. I will catch you up very soon on any news, especially on the news of my bone marrow and my lumbar puncture results. I will definitely do a video on those results, so stay tuned. Video will be up very soon. If you like my journey so far, or you like hearing about my journey, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, please. And yeah, that's all I have to say for today. Bye.